This is a very common and important question that represents a genuine theological dilemma for many people examining Islam. The objection is logically framed as follows. Premise 1. The Quran repeatedly states that it confirms the scriptures that came before it, specifically the Torah, given to Moses, and the Injil, Gospel, given to Jesus. Premise 2. The Quran also states that Jews and Christians have altered, corrupted, or misrepresented their own scriptures. Conclusion. Therefore, the Quran seems to be in a contradiction. How can it confirm earlier scriptures while simultaneously claiming those same scriptures have been changed? This is a valid question, and Islamic theology provides a coherent, multi-layered answer. Here's how it is generally resolved. The Islamic resolution. Distinguishing between the original revelation and the current text, the core of the answer lies in making a crucial distinction that is explicitly and implicitly present in the Quranic discourse. What the Quran confirms. The original, divine revelation. When the Quran says it confirms the previous scriptures, it is referring to the original, divine revelations as they were revealed to Moses and Jesus, not necessarily the compiled books that exist today. The Quran confirms the core message that was in those revelations, the absolute oneness of God, Tawhid, prophecy, the day of judgment, and moral law. It confirms that Moses and Jesus were true prophets of God and that they brought divine guidance for their people. It confirms the truths that were present in those books. Key Quranic verses on confirmation. And he has sent down upon you, O Muhammad, the book in truth, confirming what was before it. And he sent down the Torah and the Injil, Quran 3-3, and before it was the scripture of Moses to lead and as a mercy. And this is a confirming book in an Arabic tongue. Quran 46-12. These verses position the Quran as the final, preserving guardian of the primordial message of monotheism that was present in all earlier revelations. What the Quran corrects. Distortion, alteration, and misrepresentation. The Quran does not claim that the books currently in the possession of Jews and Christians are perfectly preserved copies of the original revelations. It points to several types of corruption. Tarif al-Manawi, distortion of meaning. This is the most frequent accusation. It refers to misinterpreting the text, explaining away its true meaning, or concealing prophecies that pointed to the coming of Prophet Muhammad. For example, the Quran accuses some scholars of taking scripture out of context or twisting its words. Tarif al-Lafzi, distortion of the text. This refers to actual textual alteration, addition, or omission. While some classical scholars believe this occurred, the primary focus in the Quran is on the distortion of meaning. Key Quranic verses on alteration. So woe to those who write the scripture with their own hands, then say, this is from Allah, in order to exchange it for a small price. Quran 2-79. And indeed, there is among them a party who alter the scripture with their tongues, so you may think it is from the scripture, but it is not from the scripture. And they say, this is from Allah, but it is not from Allah. And they speak untruth about Allah while they know. Quran 3-78, O people of the scripture, why do you mix the truth with falsehood and conceal the truth while you know it? Quran 3-71, how to answer the objection. A step-by-step summary. When faced with this dilemma, you can explain it as follows. Acknowledge the question. This is an excellent and logical question. The resolution lies in a key distinction the Quran itself makes. Clarify the two reference. The Quran confirms the original revelations given to Moses and Jesus. It affirms their divine source and the core truths they contained, Tawhid, prophecy, afterlife. The Quran criticizes the human handling of these revelations over time. This includes textual changes. Some scribes may have intentionally or unintentionally altered the text. Misinterpretation, deliberately explaining away clear meanings or prophecies. Concealment, hiding passages that didn't suit the desires of certain religious leaders. Use an analogy. Imagine a famous, ancient speech. A later historian writes, "My book confirms the original, powerful message of that speech." However, he also says, "Unfortunately, the transcripts of the speech we have today have been edited, and some of the original words have been lost or changed. There is no contradiction here." The historian is confirming the original message while critiquing the current state of the recorded text. This is the Islamic position. The role of the Quran. The Quran presents itself as the final, uncorrupted, and preserving criterion, al-Furqan. Its purpose is to authenticate the truth that remains in the previous books, correct the distortions and errors that have crept in, abrogate and supersede the previous laws with a final, universal law for humanity, safeguard the message of God forever, as God has promised to protect the Quran itself from alteration. In conclusion, the alleged contradiction is resolved by understanding that the words Torah and Injil in the Quran are used in two different senses: the ideal, original revelation, which the Quran confirms; the physical, historical books in the possession of the people of the book, which have been subject to human distortion. Therefore, from an Islamic perspective, there is no dilemma. The Quran honors the prophets and the original messages they brought while critiquing the human corruption of those messages over centuries. It positions itself as the ultimate standard of truth against which all previous information must be measured.